Welcome everyone. Welcome to Establish Your Brand Authority, our 30-day action plan. My name is Rachel Quilty. I'm your host for this training session. So Establish Your Brand Authority, our 30-day action plan is looking at micro action steps, 30 micro action steps to design, deploy and dominate your field, your organization or your marketplace as the authority. So my name is Rachel Quilty, brand strategist, and I'm going to walk you through these 30 vital action steps to establish your brand authority, like I said, in your field. And we're going to help you leverage your personal branding to position your brand as number one, the authority. And so our action plan contains 3 levels. Level 1, day 1 to 10, brand yourself action plan, its action steps. Level 2, day 11 to 20, brand yourself the expert. And level 3, day 21 to 30, brand yourself the authority. So you can see that we start with an action plan and then we move and progressively upwards to establish your brand authority. And the action steps kind of overlay each other as we move up. So the aim of our 30-day action plan is to assist you consider and provoke your thinking around how you might go about building a powerful personal brand, create a brand that attracts opportunities, develop a personal brand that reflects your potential and your goals, differentiate your brand as well as brand yourself as the authority in your field. And so as we walk through all these action steps, the one thing to remember is this: personal branding is the prerequisite to success. So by way of a disclaimer, these micro lessons, micro action steps are really intended to provoke your thinking, to challenge you to review, rebuild, re-engineer your brand leadership, your brand authority. An opinion based on research, experience and consultations. This is not legal advice, nor are there any guarantees of income, and no income is derived from any of the brands that I may mention. So let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Rachel Quilty, personal brand strategist, author, and brand management consultant at JumptheQ Inc., a brand coaching consulting firm operating in both US and Australia with students and clients globally. And so I studied economics, University of Queensland, went on to become employed as an industrial relations officer. That really is an advisory role. So my role was to basically review, interpret and disseminate legislation related to business and employment law that related to the contractors that I was supporting within the construction industry. And so it had a very strong lobby role, submission and policy role, and today we would consider it crisis management to some degree, because I was looking after a lot of industrial action, a lot of disputes such as safety disputes, unfair dismissals, discrimination matters, and obviously part of the construction industry was on strike every 2 years, so my job was to manage the industrial action and operate as an industrial advocate within the commissions and assist people return to work. And so more recently, I've been studying filmmaking, became a qualified filmmaker, director. And so that's been an incredible skill set. We've been filming clients for over 10 years now, but this allows us to really create and generate professional level brand stories that weave around the story and brand journey of our clients as part of their brand communication plan, as well as, creating a digital content archive for them. So let's move into this action step. So we're looking at level 1, brand yourself action plan. Brand yourself action plan provides you have a solid understanding of what steps are needed to building a successful and significant brand. And so one of the things that we do need to think about, and I haven't included this slide here, but I will put it in the next one, is to suggest that at this stage we have a strategic goal. Our strategic goal is to establish your brand authority. And so within that, we would then create a action plan. And so we've got brand yourself action plan, and now we're looking at the action steps within that action plan. And so it's really important that if we're thinking about how do we establish your authority, we want to define authority as well. So authority, I'm going to include a few little definitions here. Someone with authority has a confident quality of someone who knows a lot about something or is respected or obeyed by other people. Someone with authority has command, control, dominion, jurisdiction, power, and sway. So I'm going to get a little bit technical here because I know people are at different levels of understanding around authority and power. So I'm going to kind of flesh it out a little bit. There's 3 types of legitimate authority: traditional, rational, legal, and charismatic. So we're moving into the field of potentially traditional, but more importantly, charismatic. So charismatic authority is that authority which is derived from the leader's claim to a higher power, inspiration that is supported by his or her followers. So it's beyond legitimate power, decision-making capacity, and the means to cause others to obey. So the words apply both to abstract quality and to the individual or organization in command. So when we respect somebody, we can give them power and authority. Authorities who know more about a topic than other people are also called experts. Authorities whom people are willing to follow are also called leaders. So we have authorities who force people to do what they say, and they are really called bullies and dictators, ironically. So there is a difference between power and authority. Power and authority are important concepts within leadership. Power refers to the ability or potential for an individual to influence others and control their behavior. Authority refers to the legal and formal right to command and make decisions. So at the top of this program, we're looking at establishing your brand authority, and we need to weave these concepts within our action steps. And this is the filter in which we place all of our thinking. So if you are considering your brand, you might just be looking at developing your brand, and you haven't really considered your positioning in your marketplace or your organization. You may not have considered how you position yourself as the expert, and then how you might go about positioning yourself as the authority. And so what I've found is, as you place this filter over your thinking, it certainly changes the outcomes of your action steps and the results that you achieve. So we're going to walk through this program with that filter, branding yourself as the authority. Like I said, the one thing we need to be remembering is that personal branding is a prerequisite to success. So if we're talking about brand authority, brand leadership, then really ultimately every iconic brand empire has had a personal brand that has been motivated and generated momentum for that person, for that brand, that iconic brand. And so when we're establishing your brand authority, and we're looking at day 1, action step 1, discover your existing brand authority. The one thing that I need you to do really is to dive across to brandyourselfblueprint.com, grab a copy of the free brand journal and workbook, and start thinking and completing the brand authority audit within the blueprint. So what you'll see is it talks about action step number 1, review your existing brand. And it's such a critical step, because before you can start moving forward and making positive changes, you need to remove the negative impactors from your brand. And so it identifies lists of customer touch points in which you need to identify where your brand is connecting with your target audience and how that message of your existing brand is being conveyed. And there's training within our Facebook group, JumptheQ. So I'm just going to quickly walk through the action steps so you know what's coming up. So day 2, action step 2, determine your target audience. Day 3, action step 3, define your true brand authority. Day 4, action step 4, dominate your field as the brand authority. And so when we're establishing your brand authority, an important distinction to successful branding is to design your personal brand with your goal in mind to dominate your field as the authority. Like I said, a lot of people are designing their brand, but they're not putting it through the filter of the authority and positioning themselves effectively. So it's interesting because I was invited to speak in Las Vegas at the JV boot camp, and Scott Letourneau, the promoter and organizer, said this: personal branding is so important to any business owner's success, and the person you want to interview is the authority, Rachel Quilty. Scott Letourneau, CEO, Nevada Corporate Planners. And so, you know, what was interesting and why Scott made the comment that he did is because at the time I was writing a book that was looking at behind the scenes, what was happening behind some of the most iconic brands and some of the leading personalities at the time. And a lot of the female and to some extent males were being viewed as from a concept of their professional image and their personal style and their signature style. And so I was moving our thinking beyond that to look at how these iconic brands were applying and adapting big business branding principles to their personal brand. And so that's hence why I was invited to speak, and also interviewed, as well as interviewed by Voice America in relation to that. So day 5, action step 5, design your unique brand authority. Day 6, action step 6, develop your brand strategic style. We added a little color to that slide. Day 7, action step 7, devise your brand authority plan. And action step number 8, decide your desired outcomes, resources, and skill set. So when we're looking at establishing your brand authority, strategic brand planning will be the keystone to your brand success. And your planning your resource requirements is a very valuable and often overlooked component of personal brand planning. I really enjoy that step. Action step number 9, day 9, deploy your personal brand message, your brand authority message. And so when we're deploying our brand message, we need to ensure that our successful communication occurs when performance matches the brand promise. And so then we look at action step number 10, deliver your brand authority promise. And I always ask the question, if your brand is a reflection of what you're capable of, what is your brand saying about you? And so the right brand can improve your business credibility and positioning, increase your confidence and effectiveness, improve your communication, increase your persuasiveness, earn you improved market standing, help you to achieve your business goals. It can help you to accelerate your success, gain a competitive edge, premium price yourself, brand yourself as the authority. And to do this, you really need to have a brand vision, purpose, and mission. And to achieve your brand mission, you need to have an action plan. So like I said, I encourage you to dive across to brandyourselfblueprint.com, grab the free resources there, the journal and the workbook, and dive across then to the Facebook group JumptheQ, and you can actually do the training that accompanies the Brand Yourself Blueprint. So it's over there as one of the guides, and you can also catch up any of the action steps that you may miss there. So I'm going to call it a day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, day 2. Thanks everyone.